Who knows when death will come knocking? It doesn't matter how a man died accidentally. They say life must go on. But what if those who accidentally knocked you down left you there to die, and chances of you surviving on this ill-fated day becomes no chance at all? What people don't know is that when they hit someone accidentally and run away instead of to help save a life, they become a murderer if the victim dies. Let's begin from how it all started. A happily wonderful family never knew that calamity was about to befall on them on this fateful night. Sylvester is the best husband who loves his family so much, and his wife, Bimbo, sees herself as the luckiest woman in the world. She craved a full bottle of sweet wine and suya on this very night, as he promised to go get it for her. On the flip side is Dr. Anne, a workaholic who prioritizes her job more than her relationship with Abdul, her fiancé. She barely spends time with him, and sometimes misses out on important dates with him. This time she promised to make it up to him as she rushed to go see her man whom she had kept waiting. All these brought about this ill-fated night, a woman who is less concentrated in driving all because she has to make up with him, and a man who is stressed from work all because he wants to make his wife happy. Anne left him there after the brutal blow. Let's say she wanted to help, but what happens to her when the angry mob who were advancing towards her pounces on her? Whichever way it goes, Anne will be a murderer if Sylvester dies. Anne finally met with Abdul. She apologized for the delay. Abdul happens to be a patient guy who tolerates whatever she brings. This night was different, though. He proposed to Anne in a most surprising way to be his wife, as she accepted his proposal. Just then her phone rang. She was needed at the hospital as quickly as possible. Abdul understands the nature of her job. She must save a life now, which is more important than the pleasure now. But what if it's the same life she had already condemned to die? She was shocked to see that Sylvester was rushed back to the hospital where she worked. She had no choice than to do her job, but unfortunately, Sylvester died. The question now is, would he have been alive if Dr. Anne did the right thing in the first place? The truth is that if we don't get it right when we have the opportunity, we will regret it when it becomes late. Anne went home that night and resumed late to work to find Abdul worried about her. He couldn't find her at her house, neither was she picking her calls. Anne was stressed out with all that happened the previous day and woke up very late. She also didn't drive home. Abdul felt for her as an understanding man. Dr. Joseph also advised that she take a break since she looked stressed. Abdul offered to take her home. That shouldn't be a problem to Dr. Joseph. She asked Abdul to wait for her while she got something inside before they left. Ever since the death of Sylvester, Anne has been really perturbed. She remained in her office when Bimbo came in. Anne really felt for her and offered her a seat. She wants the death certificate of her late husband. Anne really felt sorry for her when she heard a strange voice. She heard the voice which Bimbo couldn't, but her present state made Anne ignore the strange voice. Bimbo was about to leave when she asked Anne a question, which is, would her husband have survived if he was rushed in earlier on? Anne confirmed to her that there will be a higher chance of Sylvester surviving. This technically means that the person who knocked her husband is a murderer, and she vowed to make the person pay. Anne accompanied her outside to find the deceased beautiful daughter. She really felt pity for the family as she watched them leave. Just then, Abdul came out to take his fiancée out for lunch, but she was not in the mood. This has been excuses upon excuses from a woman who wouldn't spend time with him, but claimed that she loves him. Anne went back to her office. At this point, would you blame a woman in such a predicament? She heard the voice again. You may think that it's a mere auditory hallucination, or she may be going crazy. What if I tell you that the dead were here to hunt her until she tells the truth? Anne couldn't stay at the hospital any longer as she left to cool off her head. The spirit of Sylvester was not happy with her. This time he revealed himself fully by letting her know what he wants. His wife needs to know how he died. Anne couldn't see anyone, but she could hear everything the voice said. When a spirit can't find rest, they tend to get angry very easily. Sylvester's spirit was already displaying provocation until Anne fainted. While all this was happening, Anne was also losing her man. Abdul had to call Anne's best friend, Halmat, to ask her to talk some sense to her friend because he is at the verge of calling everything off after 4 years. Regardless of all he said, he still loves her. He got the news that Anne was rushed into the hospital. Dr. Joseph confirmed to him that she is fine, and the good news is that she is 3 weeks pregnant. To Abdul, this doesn't seem like good news. Anne was awake, but his spirit wouldn't leave her. Although she is calm now with the regular voice, he promised not to hurt her. Only if she can do what is right will his spirit rest. Just then, one of the nurses came in to check on her. She also couldn't wait to break the news to her that she is pregnant while he stood there listening to them. Dr. Anne was furious that her colleague carried out a pregnancy test on her without consulting her. He told her that he did the right thing by carrying out the necessary test when she was brought in unconsciously. The worst of it all, when she found out that he had already told her fiancé. Abdul felt devastated about the news, but what could it be that will make him pick up a hooker? Although Sandy is not a hooker, they both have been dating for 2 years now. Sandy is aware of Anne, but Anne is not aware that her fiancé is cheating on her. This means that Sandy is the side chick here, but Abdul wants them to take things seriously because he wants to quit his relationship with Anne. Anne had no choice other than to tell his wife what really happened after much torment from the spirit of the dead. Bimbo was surprised to see her because she can't remember giving her address to her. Anne told her that she got it from his records, even though it was not professional of her. She came to tell her that she killed her husband but couldn't. She changed everything by telling Bimbo that she wants to assist in their little child's educational funding. Bimbo was so appreciative of her benevolence. He couldn't believe that she was trying to show care to a family who ungodly uprooted the head of the family. Bimbo had been thinking after she left. She told her mother-in-law that it was unprofessional for the doctor to take out the address from her late husband's background and came here without her permission. Halamat also is in a committed relationship with Jeffrey. She's seriously worried about her friend who barely picks her calls. Jeffrey also doesn't like Anne as he makes despicable comments about her. Halamat has known Anne now for 11 years. She knows her friend is a good lady and will go to find out what the problem might be. Be sure to know that when someone begins to experience spiritual disturbance, it can lead to spiritual distress and potentially affect one's emotional and mental well-being. To Anne, what's the essence of living with the torments? She prefers to die than tell the world that she's a murderer. She came back home to find Abdul waiting for her. She knows that she has hurt him in many ways. But he wasn't here for apologies. He wanted the ring that he proposed to her a few days ago. Anne tried to plead and make him know how she got pregnant, but he had already made up his mind. She had to give him the ring. Men also love to see their woman crawling on their knees to beg them. He was surprised to see her give him back his ring without much drama. All she told him is that she loves him so very much before leaving. She just lost her relationship. She is also facing some spiritual conundrum. She is also about to face the law for killing someone if she tells the truth. To her, committing suicide is the option left that even Spirit of Sylvester sympathize with her pathetic situation. Even though she must tell the truth, he also wants to help her. The law must take its due course. Bimbo wouldn't relent on finding her late husband's killer. The policemen assured her that they will get the murderer, even though they couldn't find any witness at the scene of the accident. Anne heard a knock on the door. It was Jeffrey. He happens to dislike this lady, so why is he here? Jeffrey is responsible for her pregnancy. He raped Anne since Anne wouldn't accept to be his girlfriend. He came to tell her that Halamat is coming to see her soon. He wants her to be careful not to spill anything out to his girlfriend. Just then, Halamat came knocking. She had to find a way by going to open the door for her, while Jeffrey used the back door. Halamat knows that her friend is going through a lot. She wants to know what the problem is. She came to talk some sense into her to open up. All these while, Sylvester's spirit was around as he watched her life get complicated. Halamat was already giving up when Anne told her that she is pregnant. Halamat wanted to know more, but his spirit was intruding in their conversation, and she shouted for him to leave her alone. To Halamat, this is more serious than she had thought. Anne was already in a state of confusion, and from the look of things, she knew that Abdul was not responsible, so she asked her who did it until Abdul came in. Even if he is going to walk out of the relationship, he needs to know who she has been cheating on him with. Sometimes it seems like the dead still learn the things of this world from the living, as the ghost left what he came for to watch the drama. Before Anne will say anything, she also wants to let him know that she knows that he is cheating on her after Abdul swore that he had had nothing to do with another woman. Abdul was surprised when she called Sandy and how she knew about his affair for 2 years now. Abdul blamed her for everything because she barely had time for him. The most oblivious part is that they had only made love 4 times in the 4 years of their relationship. Anne opened up about the psychological effect she had when she was raped at age 10 by her stepfather for 2 good years, and when she told her mother, she beat her up for trying to seduce her husband. The whole narrative changed at the point that even the ghost took pity on her, but he still believes that the truth will set her free if she can just tell them everything. Anne shouted into space again like there was an imaginary being. She was going to tell them the truth. She started with Halamat that Jeffrey is responsible for the pregnancy. This is the last thing they want to hear now until she told them that he raped her. She told them how it all started with his relentless advances and also stalking her, but she thought that he would get tired one day and give up rather than break their relationship if she told her friend. She never knew that he could do such a thing to her on that fateful evening. Halamat really felt sorry for her friend after she heard everything. Just then a call came in. It was the bank calling. She made Jeffrey a signatory to her account, so he went there to clear all her savings. She was lucky that the bank had to call her first. She told them to call the police on him while she was on her way. Anne and Abdul were left alone, but he wouldn't leave. He still loves her and wants them to start all over again. It was as if the spirit of Sylvester knew her fate. If only she told the truth, will she be set free? But will the truth set her free from Bimbo, who swore to make the murderer pay for making her a widow at a young age? All these while she has also been having occurrences of her late husband's spirit around. She could feel him but couldn't touch him, only to find out that it was just a dream. She sometimes still blames herself not to have sent him out on that fateful night just to satisfy her cravings. Bimbo thinks that Anne has something to say about her husband's death. She was about to go see her when Anne came in with the support of Abdul. She has a confession to make. Anne was ready to face the wrath of her crime, if that will make the spirit of the dead find a resting place. Bimbo was ready to strangle her to death. Finding the killer of a loved one who had died is one wish the dead wish to have, that the murder should be brought to justice. Bimbo knows that her late husband will be happy wherever he is if she calls the police on Anne until something mysteriously happens. A picture frame on the wall where forgiveness was expressed fell on her feet. This was not ordinary. She knew that her late husband did this. Could this be his wish that the doctor should be forgiven? Remember that Bimbo vowed to make the murderer pay. Will she honor the dead or send Dr. Anne to jail?
Thanks for watching. Please comment your thoughts and also like and share this video for more super amazing videos that we are bringing to you. And if you're watching from our YouTube channel, you can also subscribe and turn on your notification for more. Thank you.